there is an example that was given by the Buddha when he was talking to his monks, and was also someone was asking about this question of the self, and the self being in charge, because that's how we do experience it, isn't it? There's here I am talking, possibly there you are listening, maybe you're doom scrolling as well, maybe you're doing something else, driving the car, or I don't know, listening to this on earphones or something like that, whilst you're doing something else. But there is that feeling that I am doing these things, and I am choosing to do these things. I choose whether to listen to this talk or whether not to, and so on. These are my choices. The things that I pick and choose throughout the day. I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do that, or I must do this, and then I ought to do that, and so on, or I don't want to do that, or whatever it might be. There's still this self-referential thing. So the Buddha was, as I say, gave this example. He said, "O monks, what would you think if there was a king in a kingdom, and one day he said to his army, march south from the capital until you reach the border?" And they did not go. They ignored him. And then the following day he gave the command to the army, march north from the capital for 100 miles, and the army took absolutely no notice of him. Would you say that king was in charge? Would you say that he was able to function or operate as a king? And the monk said, "No, Lord, of course not, because an army would obey a true king, would obey a true king who had the authority to order them about. But if someone gave this command and they didn't move, then obviously he couldn't be the king, he couldn't be the ruler." And so the Buddha said, and so it is with the body. He said, it doesn't matter if you say do not age, because the body will age. If you have an infirmity, if you say may that infirmity be gone, you cannot. It will not go. If you're hungry and you say, "I banish hunger," the hunger will not go. And so you are also not the ruler of your own body. And so it is also with your own mind too. And this is, it's a very simple example, but I think a very useful one, showing this difference between ruling and not ruling, and what we are what, so to speak, I am in charge of, and what I am not in charge of. And actually, as we begin to look at it, less and less am I really in control, and actually what we are left with is an appearance of control. So let's sort of look a little bit more closely at that, because again, there is this appearance of I being in control. But I remember very much my own teacher, the late Master Dayu, giving an example. She said, if you wanted to get up out of your chair and walk, you can do so. There's no question about that. However, she said, do you know how you walk? Do you know which muscles to move in what order to coordinate, lifting the body out of the chair or off the cushion, and walking out of the room? And she said, no, even if you're a doctor, it wouldn't make any difference, even if you knew the names of all the muscles. To know precisely how to stand up and balance the body is something that I don't know, and in fact is something that I don't need to know either. And what she was pointing at there was what the Buddha was pointing at there, that there is this one who thinks he is in control, but actually when we look at it more closely, he isn't. It may well be the case that we can stand up and walk, but it's true, we don't know actually how we do it. So there is something else that does the walking. And if we bring that more into this moment, here I am doing the talking. Do I know how that talking takes place? Do I know how to move my larynx and to breathe in just the precise way? and to move my tongue, mouth and lips to form these words. And it's more than that, because that's just the physical side. There's also a cognitive side to this as well, because I'm not just making sounds. I'm actually speaking a language, and as I speak, you can hear this voice. Now, I know this voice is obviously going through various electronic devices, but that actually is not relevant to this point, because even as you hear my words, you are not just hearing noise. You are actually hearing sensible words. You're hearing a language, and you are being given an understanding, and the understanding that you're being given is the one that's arising in my mind right now, and as a result of this language is arising in your own mind. Now, if you are in charge of this process of hearing and understanding this language, then see if you can switch it off. See if you can stop hearing these words as English and sensible and meaningful, and see if you can just hear it as noise, as if you'd never heard the English language or even a language before. Can you just hear the noise, or is automatically the understanding being given to you? Well, I think the truth is fairly obvious. You can't just switch off the understanding. And whilst your ears are working and you've still pressed the play button, you will hear this noise, this particular noise, as the English language, and whether you want to or not, you will understand what I'm actually saying, or what is being said, perhaps more accurately. So, again, when it comes to hearing and understanding, there is something that is other than I that is in control of this process, and that does this process. And when we talk about giving myself into the doing, or into what is being done, it is into that one who is doing all this. The one who does the walking, the one who turns the head from right to left, the one who does the eating, the one who does the speaking, the one who does the hearing, and on the mental side as well, the one who understands, the one who pays attention or doesn't. Actually, the one who does all these things, who does all these processes, actually is not I. There's something else functioning. So now perhaps we're beginning to get this sense.